Afternoon everyone, we're heading back out. Quite a few different animals down close to Savanna, and so we're going to spend a bit of time down here not far from the lodge having a look around for a few different things, and yeah, maybe we'll head back towards the lions a bit later and see what they get up to. I'm sure they're still sleeping close to that waterhole, but yeah, we'll see what the afternoon brings. So as we were mentioning, we moved into the area where we left Thamba this morning, not too far from the camp itself, and he hasn't moved that far. He moved up to a small waterhole of only about 500 meters from where we left him this morning. He's lying up here, and if you have a look, you'll see the flies are busy pestering him. Even if you're a big leopard, those flies still landing on the ear, and that you'll see him shaking the head. He might even try snap and bite them. But he's currently looking at a herd of wildebeest in the clearing, and we'll see what he gets up to. Hopefully he'll head down and have a drink at one of the waterholes for us. So you'll start to see him grooming and yawning. We've had 2 or 3 different yawns now, and that's almost a certain sign that he's just about to start waking up and get moving for the afternoon. Luckily in these winter afternoons now, the sun drops quite quickly and the temperature drops, meaning that these leopards get active quite early in the afternoon, as opposed to in the peak of summer where they'll be a lot more nocturnal, moving only mainly at night time. Alrighty folks, as we all know, animals don't do what we tell them to do, and Thamba is not getting up for us at the moment, and Ali's just given us a call, and she's got a lovely herd of elephants that's just come down to drink at a dam, and a little secret surprise there with it. So we're going to quickly head up to there and have a look at those elephants and what else is happening up there, and then what we'll do is we'll come back to Thamba a little bit later as it gets a bit later in the afternoon, and we'll see if he gets moving. So we came back towards there where we left the Mhangene pride this morning, and they are exactly the same place we left them. With lions, when you've got they've had a nice big kill, nice full belly, they've got some shade to lie under and a big waterhole close by, it's very unlikely that they're going to move during the daytime. Lovely herd of elephants in the background that have just come down to drink. And you never know, if they catch wind of the lions, you may see them coming and having a bit of interaction with them. The elephants will definitely chase the lions away if they do spot them. But yeah, one of the big girls coming to have a nice drink. Very common for them after eating a large meals like that, they'll need to drink quite a lot of water. So if you have a look at that close-up of the tongue, you'll notice that the tongue does bend backwards, and lions and leopards drink for a very long time. You feel like they're drinking a lot of water, but it's pretty much the size of like a tablespoon every time. So if you had to picture grabbing a tablespoon and trying to drink all the water you need just by using that, it takes quite a long time. So it's not the most efficient process, but it does work for them. Very common for especially male leopards to be walking around through. They'll come and investigate a lot of the termite mounds. You'll often get these deep burrows that are dug out by many different creatures, but warthog are probably their main food source that will live inside there. You may also get honey badgers and aardvark and porcupine, but you'll see they come investigate. They'll be able to tell if there's something inside it, but a very good way for these larger male leopards to catch larger prey like big warthog. You'll see as Thamba gets to the edge of this clearing, he almost stops and has a look to see if anything is along the clearing. Leopards don't like being seen. They don't like being their position given away. So entering out into a large clearing like this, many different species of animals could see him and give away his position. So he's going to quickly check that there's nothing there, cross over, and you'll see him heading straight back into the thicker vegetation where he's going to continue to look for prey. So as you watch Thamba now moving through this vegetation, you'll see his behavior's changed quite a bit. He's slowed down a lot, and he's listening very intently further to our south. We're about to get onto a large clearing that almost every day has impala on it. And in the distance we actually can hear the male impala rutting. So as he gets closer to the clearing, you'll see him stop, listen, try and analyze what's happening, and then from there he can plan his evening hunt. He may wait for darkness, but also the male impala might be running around chasing each other, so we'll hopefully see what happens. So leopards are one of the most patient of all the hunters. So very often what they do is they get themselves into a position where they can sit and watch, and they can sit here for hours. He doesn't look like he's hungry at the moment. He's not starving. He's definitely had something to eat in the last 2 or 3 days. And so for him to just position himself like this on this big termite mound overlooking one of these clearings, if an opportunity does come where an impala might come through, then that will work out great for him. But yeah, as I mentioned, he could be sitting here for hours on end waiting without actually moving at all. So as well as termite mounds, leopards will also very often use trees like this, especially the marula tree, climb up and get a greater vantage point to be able to look right over the landscape. From up there you can see a very long distance through these clearings and into the bush further along, and this often gives him a chance to spot something that he may not have seen from the ground with the long grass. So Tamba's climbed up this tree and had a look if he can see anything in the clearing or in the distance, and obviously he hasn't spotted anything, unfortunately, so he's decided that looks like a great spot to have an evening nap. I think we're probably going to leave him here now. As I've mentioned before, he could be here for hours waiting for any sign of prey coming out onto these clearings or passing by. So as it's getting to early evening, we'll carry on around for a little bit longer and see what else we can find, and maybe catch up with him in the morning. Alright folks, well I hope you've enjoyed your time with us again. Another fantastic day out here. Got to spend a lot of time with Thamba today, which was always special. A new leopard coming into the area and starting to establish himself. Unfortunately not quite getting on his evening hunt as we'd hoped, but I'm sure he'll be moving around quite a bit tonight while it gets dark. Yeah, and we will hopefully see you all tomorrow, so have a great evening.